Thank you for joining us today for our webinar, Keeping Your Construction Projects on Track with a Common Data Environment. Before we begin, I would like to let you know that we will be answering questions at the end of the webinar. To ask a question, please use the chat functionality. We will do our best to respond to all questions, but if we can't answer your question as part of the webinar, we will respond directly afterwards. Now, I would like to turn the session over to Fareed, who will be leading the webinar.
Great. Thank you, Dan. I want to thank everyone for joining us today. Like Dan mentioned, my name is Fareed. I'm one of the account executives here, so I'll be heading this. Nicole will be our consultant. She's the one that will be performing the demo. And this will be our agenda today. We'll go over a little bit about our company, why the common data environment, more particular, why our A-site common data environment, and then we'll have a Q&A. Now, just a little bit about our company. We are headquartered here in the UK, in the London's Tech City area, but we do have regional offices here in the States, also in Australia, China, India, just to name a few. Mainly, this platform gives everyone involved on capital projects access to key information regardless of location or device. We are a market-leading built environment technology platform, and we are consistently selected over industry competition. A-site has quickly become the platform of choice for over 54,000 organizations across 95 countries globally. Mainly, the real-time information is rapidly transforming the way people work. Every day, more than 300,000 users rely on A-site to collaborate more effectively. And also, we do have over 200 enterprise clients and more than 400 employees globally. Now, here at A-site, we pride ourselves in appealing to more of a global, diverse client base that goes from anywhere from the construction, industry to property developers and even government and facility owners. And as you can see right here, you may recognize some of these companies, pretty well known. We have Skanska, we have IKEA, Adkins. It's just to name a few. Now the question is, why is CDE, Common Data Environment? Now, when we do speak to individuals here, we hear many challenges with their current process. That can range from low productivity, poor efficiency, low technology uptake, with companies dealing with more of a manual part or all of a manual method that's very time consuming. Now, when you look at this, what do you see? What I see here is a lot of information chaos. Now, information mainly isn't shared properly at all, or which leads to a dispersed team that's not on the same page. So mainly what you'll have and what we hear of is, a lot of the stakeholders cannot share the same information, and they don't know what's really going on. So a subcontractor may not be in tune with the contractor or the GC, and mainly what you have is just a dispersed, dispersed stakeholders all over with information chaos. Now with A-site, we eliminate that chaos. We bring pretty much every stakeholder together on one platform. They can keep track of all schedules, budgets, submittals, RFIs and drawings, just to name a few. Mainly what we do is we can help you get more access to that information and overall communicate better as a team. Now comes to the A-site common data environment. Now, this is a list of our product families, which includes supply chain management, project portfolio management, and asset performance management. Some of the main features with these include analytics and dashboard, which is real-time reporting. You have a field app feature as well, and then also a visual workflow. Now, this will help automate the processes that we talked about earlier. So when it comes to the ASI common data environment, what we'll go over on this demo, which Nicole will perform here in just a bit, is document management, leveraging the BIM model, and dashboard analytics. So what I'll do is I'll go ahead and let Nicole take over. She's gonna go over this demo and then it'll come right back to me.
Hi everyone, this is Nicole and I will now show you a demonstration of how you can easily collaborate and stay on track with all of your projects within Asite. Over here, we have our files area. And on the left-hand side, you would see your tree structure. This is just a standard and simple folder tree structure. However, this is fully configurable and can be set up according to your project needs. If I select on a specific folder, I will only look at files relevant to that folder on my right-hand side. Folders can be set up to be security-based in Asite, so you can easily manage who has access to which files and information. I can either upload a single file or multiple files at the same time, as there is no file size limit in Asite. And you can either have a simple drag and drop and have your file be uploaded, or you can enforce a naming convention and tag your documents with metadata to easily search for a specific file without having to browse through multiple folders. And I will show an example of how you would do that. So if I open up my files browser in my computer, I can just drag and drop the file into my viewing area, and this window will pop up. You will first see your document reference, which has been automatically filled in. This is a unique identifier for a file, and you can enforce and standardize naming convention. Next, you would fill out all of your required fields and input any information on any attributes for this specific file. Now your file will pop up here. And given that I've assigned specific attributes to this upload, I can then apply any filters on any specific information to easily search through documents. For example, I can filter for any CSI codes. You can also set up an automated workflow that runs behind the scenes each time a file is uploaded. So if I click on my workflow status, you can see a visual representation of this example submittal workflow. And you would have visibility to which stage this file is on and which team is responsible for the review process and for moving this file along. If I wanted to upload another revision of the same file and had it saved with the same file name in my computer, the system will automatically recognize that file as another revision. So for example, I can upload this file and these fields would be automatically filled out as it would be another revision of an already existing file. You will notice in this version column that my number has changed to 2. So in A-Site, there is an automatic revision control in which you will only see the latest version of a document. This avoids for any users to be working on previous revisions. However, you can apply a filter to look at all of your different revisions for a single file. If I click on superseded, I will be able to see all the different revisions. I can also compare two files. If I click on compare files, a new tab would open up in which you can see both of your drawings side by side or overlay them to have visibility to any changes that have been made between revisions. In A-Site, you can easily collaborate by having visibility to all comments and markups that have been made on a file throughout your review process. So for example, if I open up this file, I can see all of the communication that has happened on this specific drawing on my right-hand side, and all of the markups and comments that have been made by different team members. You can also view the status of that file through the A-Site viewer. And instead of having to download this file offline and complete your markups, you can include all of your markups within the A-Site viewer by using all of the markup tools we have. You can also further distribute this file to any other users within the project. A-Site supports over 300 different file types, so you're able to view all of these files within the A-Site viewer instead of having to constantly download them. So for example, here I have a DWG file that I can open up within A-Site and easily start collaborating on this file by adding any comments, markups, and starting my review process. In A-Site, you're also able to upload 3D files and models and view them within the system. Over here, I have an example BIM model. And as you can see, you have visibility to all of the comments and markups that have been made within this model. And you can open each one of them, and that will take you to that specific location. Within the viewer, I have this model tree tool in which I can filter for different layers of this model. You can also add any markups directly in A-Site for models as well. If I wanted to raise, for example, an RFI regarding this specific model, I can do it directly through this area over here. I would click on create form, and you will see all of the available forms you have within a project. So if I select a form, this model would be automatically associated to that form. If I go to my project forms tab, Within this area is where you would have all of the available project forms. So in the left-hand side, you would see a list of all the forms that you can raise in your project. Over here, I just have some example out of the box forms that we offer with Asite. However, the forms are fully configurable and can be set up to your project needs as well. If I wanted to raise an RFI, I would just click on create form. And you would be able to see this form within Asite. You can fill out all of your required fields. And you can add external attachments as well, or associate any existing files or forms that are already within the system. After you're done filling out your fields, in here you would select which users or teams you want to send this form to. So you can select a specific role, assign those users a task and a due date. You can also set up an automatic workflow for forms. So you would not have to manually input users over here. This form would get automatically distributed to appropriate teams after you click send. And then those users would get a response task with the corresponding due date. In my right-hand side, I can see all of the previously created forms, and I would have visibility if I have any tasks on any form, and I can complete this task by simply clicking over here. You would write out your response. You can again attach any files or associate any documents or forms. And after clicking send, this form would automatically get sent out to any recipients. You will have visibility to all of the forms that have been created in your project by any project users. So if I were to open this form, you would be able to see all of the communication on the right-hand side and all of the responses that have been added by each team member. You can also see all of the responses directly on the form. In Asite, we also have a sites module. Over here, you can keep track of all your defects and raise any punch list forms. You can either look at all the punch list forms through a list view or switch over to a map view. You can easily create a punch list form by just dropping a pin on the map. This is a standard out-of-the-box form, but this form can also be adjusted to your project needs. And over here, you would fill out all of your required fields and assign this task to a user with a due date. And you can also include any external attachments. Again, you can see all of the punch list forms that have been created by everyone on your team, and you would be able to complete any response tasks through here and assign any statuses to any of these forms. We also offer a mobile fields application. So let's say you were on site and didn't have any signal, you would be able to raise any of these forms and view important project information while you're offline, and everything would get synced up to your project. And lastly, we have our dashboard area. This would give you a high-level overview of project information. And you have the option to either view data for a single project or multiple projects by selecting those on your project dropdown. This is just one example of our out-of-the-box dashboard. However, dashboards are fully configurable and users can create their own dashboards as well. These dashboards are interactive, so you can easily access any information and go directly to any files or forms by just clicking on any graph. We also have an integration with Microsoft Power BI, so you can view Power BI dashboards directly in Asite. All this information is directly linked to my project in Asite. And I can drill through any of these graphs to look at additional reporting. Within Asite, you can also create and run reports out of all of your data. And this would conclude the demonstration of the Asite CDE that will allow you to collaborate with all team members on every stage of your project. And I'm gonna pass it back over to you, Fareed. Thank you.
Okay, great. Thank you, Nicole. Now, another great thing about Asite is our open API model. As you can see here are some of the partners that we integrate with. We can pull a lot of information and data from this directly into the system. Our goal here is really not to disrupt your current process, but you know, it's just to be more efficient by bringing all this data in together. And Dan, I'll go ahead and let you take over and see what questions we have.
Okay, thank you, Fareed and Nicole. That was excellent. Yeah, we do have a few questions that have come in. Fareed, I think you probably can take this one here. So how do you price the system for external users?
When it comes to external users, it doesn't really matter. You have unlimited users capability. It doesn't matter if it's within your company or outside of your company. So that can include, you know, subcontractors, architects, etc.
Okay, excellent. Thanks, Fareed. And second question, are there limits to the amount and size of documents and data that can be stored in the system?
No, absolutely not. It has actually unlimited data storage, and you can also upload upwards of 300 file types.
Okay, okay. And one more question, it looks like just came in. Does the Asite platform have a mobile application?
Yes, it does. It actually can work on an Android. It can work on Android, or it can work on Apple. And you can actually use it mobilely on your phone or even a tablet.
Okay, cool. All right, well, those are all the questions for today. So thank you everyone for joining us for this webinar, and enjoy the rest of your day. Thank you. Bye-bye.